Molly, thank you very much for agreeing to interview with us.
Oh, no
Can
problem.
you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I do as little as possible, but for work, so, well, we might as well start with, hey, I'm Molly. Um, I've been at Cradle Beach now for 23 years. Um, Basically, I started off working at Cradle Beach, um, kind of like in a junior position, worked in the infirmary, then I was a counselor, then I was a supervisor, did all this stuff. Cradle Beach, we work with kids with and without disabilities, but we're well known in the Western New York area for working with children with disabilities, mainly children, I should say. I mostly have to do with, well, for my first 20 years or so, I mostly had to do with the summer camp. Now I work full time. I am the coordinator of volunteers and facility rentals right now. I just got that title and I'm keep like tripping over it while I try to remember it. Pretty excited about it. So pretty much, I went to, I have a bachelor's degree in whatever, but I went to college for counseling. I figure if you're going to mess with people's minds, you should get paid for it. I don't take much seriously, in case you haven't noticed from this interview. So, what else do you need to know?
Um, I mean, I guess we can start with like you. How is the experience at camp for those people who don't know? Obviously, we know because we've been there, but
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I mean, like summer camp is, you see it in the movies, you see it in TV shows. Kids just go to summer camp and they run around, they play, they do everything. Um, Basically, same concept here, except we have a little bit less barrier. So if you are, oh, I'm not good at politically correct. So if you are in a wheelchair or if you have mobility issues, um, almost every single building, actually every single building has some way to get into it, ramp. Um, we do have a lift on our stage we just put in. We just put in a new building. We only have two buildings here that have a second story, and we don't really use them. So people really have access to everything that's here, which I like. We also have a very well-trained staff. We do about a week-long training for the summer, every year for the summer staff, and we talk about things like bullying and autism and oppositional defiance disorder, and we talk about cerebral palsy. I mean, you pick a disability, and we've probably talked about it for some reason. But we also just talk about kids being kids, because that's what we hope kids can come out here, and that's what we hope they want to do is, and that they can do is just be regular kids. That's the goal. So that's my long answer.
So you've worked at Cradle Beach for some time now. Can you
Yep.
explain to us how it's changed over the years?
Yes, I think like most camps, I think we've put more structure in. So during the summer, we have a lot more structure than we used to. When I first started here, we did things called activity mornings where the kids just kind of went everywhere and had fun, which was great and all, except we didn't know where the kids were exactly. So, I mean, not that we didn't know where I mean, we knew the area they were in, but you didn't, if you were looking for a certain kid, it would take you a little bit longer. So now we do what we call playstations, which is not the video game console, no matter how hard I beg. So the kids get to sign up. They get to choose their activity, but we know where they are. And there's some, like sometimes kids are like, oh, I signed up for swim lessons and I'm terrified of water. And we're like, well, maybe we'll change that. We'll pick something else. So,
that
but
was
then,
actually my brother. He
yeah,
could not swim for the life of him, and then he did that, learned how to swim.
yep. And some kids, that's fine, but some kids, like, we have literally had kids that are like, oh, I really want to play, we're going to do a kickball game. And we find out, like, they're like a no contact person. Like they're not allowed to be playing contact sports. While kickball is not exactly a contact sport, it's not exactly not either.
Right.
So we're like, let's not sign them up for that. So we give them actually 3 choices, and then we pick the 2 that are going to fit into the schedule the best for them. And if there's any problem, which I can't remember there ever being, we actually take the kid, that morning and go, okay, come here, buddy. We can't do this for whatever reason. Is there anything else you wanted to do? Most of the time, the kids have a hard time picking 3 activities. And the activities vary every session because it depends on the skills of our counselors. So while we always have swim lessons and arts and crafts, sometimes we do a karate play station. Sometimes we do an American Sign Language play station. Sometimes we do, a beach walking station where kids can just go to the beach and kind of build sandcastles and wander. We always have a science option. We have this wonderful woman who does this whole STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. Oh, whoa, I remembered them. She's gonna be so proud. So, and she does a whole program, and they dissect frogs, and they do everything. They do the little egg drop where you put the egg in the carton and you build the carton up, and then you drop it off with something really high up. I'm like, this is awesome. They let me play with all the activities, so I usually get to see a lot of interesting things. But I think that was like the major change. One of the other big changes was that we don't have as many holidays anymore. We used to have like Valentine's Day party, and we found that got a little, like, it just wasn't, the kids weren't into it anymore. They were like, oh, it's a dance party, but it was too long. So we just changed the program. The only holiday we really celebrate anymore is Christmas. So, I mean, 4th of July too, I guess.
Right.
So, what else?
Your turn.
I guess, well, Shanell already kind of answered that question, or asked that question. There's people that don't know how to connect with you. What would be the best way to reach out to you?
To like, if they wanted their kid to come to Cradle Beach?
Yeah.
Well, the kids have to be between the ages of 8 and 16. I recommend going on the website, which is www.cradlebeach.org. And then you go on the website and you can get a little bit more information. You can apply online, which is really nice. That's a nice feature that they've added in the last couple of years. It's a lot easier. That's really nice. So you can do that. More than welcome to call us, email us. I tell people, if you really wanted to stop by, you just give us a call, you drop us a line, because I've had people who are like, oh, I really want a tour. And I'm like, come on down, just let me know what day. So I'm sure that somebody's here and can give a tour. Because some of the women in the office have worked here for a few years, but maybe don't know all the summer camp programs. They might know other aspects of camp, work in the finance department or things like that. So definitely I would try the website, but the phone number here is 716-549-6307. And the extension I would look for would be the admissions office, which I think is 205, but I'm not good with numbers. And yeah, I mean, just give us a call. We're more than happy to answer the questions. That's what we do. And we are open all year round, which people always tell me, well, you work at a summer camp, you can't really have a full-time job. And I'm like, no, I'm there every week. I mean, we get some holidays off, but other than that, right, we're here.
And you guys do respites too, right?
We do a respite program too. The respite program, I don't have a lot of information on that just because I'm not completely active with that. But basically, that is run through our admissions department too. So if you were interested in that program, I would recommend talking to the admissions department. I don't know all the requirements for that. I do know that you have to be, I think you have to go through OPWDD, and I think you have to have a home and community-based waiver, and you have to be in that program. I don't know that for sure, though. That's what I've been told. So I know there's probably some other criteria, but I'm not really that familiar with the program.
Okay. I think maybe one more question.
I
Ask away.
actually have one more too, so go
Okay.
ahead.
Sure. Okay.
Well, if you could describe Cradle Beach in just a few words, how would you describe it?
Home.
Yeah.
We used to
Yeah.
tell kids, and we still do, because people are always like, "Oh, what changes? What stays the same?" We always say, "Welcome home." We don't say, "Oh, you have to stay here for a week. You have to stay here for 10 days." We say, "This is your home for the next 7 to 10 days, whatever session you're coming out," and that's what it is to me.
It definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I saw on social media, obviously, they renovated a whole bunch of the cabins. Can you get into like that process?
Ooh. Well, we've actually put up several new buildings in the last. We put in 2 new buildings in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But we also did some renovations on a couple of the cabins. Well, actually, quite a few. Um, Farther out from the main building, which is the Jim Kelly house. I think there was 3 or 4 cabins they took, and they lifted them up in the air with cranes. It was so cool, and they put new piers down so that the kids, so that they weren't unsafe or anything like that. They just needed to be replaced, and we wanted to get that done before it was unsafe.
Right.
So they did that, and then they also remodeled the bathrooms in 2 of the cabins. They've done other remodeling projects over the years, but these 2 cabins are Chippewa and Ottawa, which are 2 of our winterized cabins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
and
those.
the bathrooms are gorgeous, and if you check out our Facebook page, you can find the pictures from the bathrooms. I don't know if they put the before pictures up, but my first cabin that I ever lived in at Cradle Beach was Ottawa. And I remember that cabin, and I remember going, wow, this bathroom could use, little remodeling. So yeah, that was nice. The 2 new buildings we put up the Geico Woodland Lodge, which has a giant like living room in it, has a little kitchen, a laundry, 10 bedrooms with 4 beds in each, which are 2 sets of bunk beds. But we use that for the summer. We use that for staff, and then during the year we rent it. But our rental, you have to be like, it has to be through a nonprofit or a church or a school. It's not like the general public really doesn't rent it.
Gotcha.
I know, it's like everybody's like, wait, what can I do? And I'm like, well, and then we put in a new pavilion. So this pavilion kind of takes us back to the old days when, from 1888 to 1995, we were down the road actually at a different facility. And in '96, we moved here. At the old camp, they had a really nice pavilion that had like these doors that you could open up, and it was super. When we moved down here, we didn't have that yet, and we're like, oh, we got to put one in. No rush, because it took like 20 years.
Right.
But they really were working on it. It was just trying to figure out where to go with it, how to build it, what to look like. And that is a gorgeous new building. I do invite people to come and see it if they want. Give us a call, and we can give tours of it. Right now, I think it's got some storage in it right now because it's a big building. It's got a giant stage. It has a screen that comes down. We can watch movies in there, which we try not to watch a lot of movies at camp, but some days you need, it's rainy,
Right.
or you need to chill out a little bit because everything's been crazy during the day. So we might do that, and we can put all the campers in there, all the campers, all the counselors. And we usually have somewhere between 125 to 150 kids at any given time here during the summer. And then staff, I would say at least 100 during the summer. So you've got like 250 people sometimes trying to fit in that building, and it fits. And we've got, there's a lift inside to get up to the stage in case we need to go up, just the lift. But there's also 2 ramps outside that we can go up to. So it's very accessible, which I was pretty excited about when I saw it.
That's awesome.
I say we have to make this trip in July happen.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think you do, and I think maybe we might need to, like do a little video tour, so you guys can show it a little bit.
Yeah,
Just have to work it out the
Yeah,
right time of day.
it's been almost 10 years since we've been back.
it's been 11 for me, so
Yeah, well, for me, it's been almost 10 years, so it'll be cool to see how everything's changed.
A lot of things have changed and a lot of things have stayed the same. But I think the other thing that would be new to you would be we have the tree house that's wheelchair accessible, and we also have a new cabin called Hunter's Lodge.
Oh, we were there for that.
Okay,
yeah,
For both.
yeah,
can't
we were
remember.
there for the we were there
Sorry,
for the
I'm
tree house.
like, when was that? I don't know.
Yeah, we
Actually,
were there for the treehouse. I don't remember the lodge though.
I remember both of them being built, actually.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I was thinking that you guys had been here when they were built, but then I'm like, maybe you weren't. So sorry, I can't remember. I can't remember when
Yes.
I was here sometimes. So, yeah. What else? Anything else?
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Thank you again
Yeah,
so
no
much.